Ryan's Office Revenge.
Alright, so before we get into today's story, I need you to think about something for a second. What would you do if your boss walked into your office and told you to train someone to do your job, knowing full well they were about to fire you? Like, really think about it. You've built everything from the ground up. You know every system, every client, every password, and they just expect you to hand it all over with a smile. That's not a hypothetical situation. That actually happened to me. And honestly, the way I handled it is probably the most satisfying thing you'll hear all week. My name is Bobby Mitchell. I'm 47 years old, and this is exactly how it went down. Picture this moment. It's 8:47 a.m. Thursday, November 15th, 2024. I walk into the main conference room at TechFlow Solutions, this mid-sized logistics consulting firm in Austin, where I've been working since I got out of the Navy in 2002. There's my boss, Scott Williams, sitting there with someone I've never seen before. Young guy, maybe late 20s, Navy suit, leather portfolio, the kind of eager expression that screams recent MBA graduate. Scott's got this look on his face. Not guilty exactly, more like uncomfortable. He clears his throat and says, "Bobby, thanks for coming in. This is Alex Rivera. He's going to be joining our operations team, and I'd like you to spend the next few weeks getting him up to speed on your systems." I remember just standing there for a second, coffee cup in hand, processing what I just heard. Up to speed on my systems. Not working alongside me, not supporting the team. My systems. I set my coffee down slowly on the table. The mug made that small clink sound against the glass. What exactly does that mean? My voice was calmer than I felt. Alex, bless him, had no idea what he'd walked into. Extends his hand with this big smile. "Really excited to learn from you, Bobby. Scott told me you're the best in the business." I shook his hand. Professional, polite. Then I looked at Scott and waited. "Let's talk in my office," Scott said. "Alex, give us a minute." And that's when I knew immediately. After 16 years, 7 months, and 11 days at TechFlow Solutions, they were going to fire me. The only question was when. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Let me back up and give you some context, because this is important. I started at TechFlow in March 2008, fresh out of the Navy, looking for stability. Took a mid-level position as an operations coordinator. I'd spent 6 years in the Navy, logistics specialist, learned everything about supply chain management the hard way. Desert Storm, then later Iraq. You learn real fast how to keep things running when lives depend on it. The company back then had maybe 180 employees, 29 active clients, and was doing about $14 million in annual revenue. Nothing spectacular, but solid. My job was simple. Manage logistics operations, make sure supply chains stayed optimized, keep deliveries on time. Within 18 months, I'd restructured our entire tracking system. Built it myself, actually. Taught myself Python and SQL on weekends, spending hours in my garage with my laptop, energy drinks, and determination. Called it LogiTrack. Before that system, we were using Excel spreadsheets and email chains. It was complete chaos. Now this is the part they didn't see coming. After I implemented LogiTrack, our operational efficiency jumped from 73% to 96% in 2 years. We went from constantly scrambling to meet deadlines to having clients call us asking how we made their deliveries so predictable. By 2015, I was managing 47 major supply chains personally. My operations were generating $52 million in annual revenue. Not bad for a guy making $89,000 a year. They promoted me to Senior Operations Director in 2017. Gave me a team of 6 people, bumped my salary to $142,000. I trained every single person who came through that department. I wrote the standard operating procedures. I created the client onboarding templates. When new clients asked who'd be managing their logistics, Scott would walk them directly to my desk. But here's what they didn't know, though, and this is where my Navy training really paid off. The entire LogiTrack system, I'd built it on my personal AWS account. Used my own credit card for the hosting fees for the first 4 years, until I finally convinced finance to reimburse me. The intellectual property clause in my employment contract had one key detail that I'd negotiated back in 2009, Section 9, Paragraph C. It said that any proprietary systems developed by me using personal resources during my employment would remain my intellectual property unless explicitly purchased by the company through a separate licensing agreement. They'd never purchased it. They'd been using my system, my code, my architecture, my algorithms for supply chain optimization for 16 years without technically owning it. And I had the documentation to prove it. Every Git commit, every AWS invoice with my name on it, every email where I'd mentioned that I was developing this independently. I never planned to use it as leverage. Honestly, I loved that job. I loved my team, I loved solving problems and making things run smoother. But my dad was career Army, and he always told me the same thing: document everything. Protect your work, paper trail beats handshake deals every single time. So back to Scott's office, November 15th, 8:53 a.m. I sat down in the chair across from his desk. Scott closed the door, which he almost never did. He sat behind his desk and honestly, he looked tired, like he hadn't slept much. "Bobby," he started, running his hand through his hair, "I'm going to be straight with you. Morrison Capital Partners bought us in June. They're pushing for operational changes. We're looking at restructuring some of the senior roles. You're firing me," I said. "Not a question." He paused, looked down at his hands. "Not immediately. We're asking you to transition your responsibilities over the next 3 weeks. We'll provide 4-month severance, continuation of benefits, strong reference, who made this decision. The board, the new CFO, Howard Stevens. It's a cost-cutting measure, Bobby. Your salary, your team's salaries, it's one of the larger line items in the budget, and Alex is going to take over my operations." Alex and a restructured team were moving to a more automated system. I almost laughed. "Automated, Scott. You know the LogiTrack system isn't just software, right? It's custom built for our specific supply chain needs. It requires someone who understands the nuances, the client requirements." "We're aware," Scott interrupted. "That's why we need you to train Alex on how it works. Document everything. We'll make sure it's a smooth transition." I sat there for a moment, just thinking. My first instinct was panic. Honestly, 16 years, my entire civilian career, my team, my clients, people I'd worked with for over a decade who trusted me personally. Then I thought about my daughter Jessica, senior year at UT, tuition due in January, Carol's medical bills from her surgery last month, the mortgage, everything we'd built. Then I thought about Section 9, Paragraph C. "When's my last day?" I asked. "December 6th, 3 weeks from tomorrow." "And you want me to train Alex on the LogiTrack system completely? Every aspect of it, everything?" I stood up slowly. "Okay, I'll need that offer in writing. The severance terms, the timeline, all of it. And Scott, I'm going to need to consult with my lawyer before I agree to any knowledge transfer." Scott blinked hard. "Your lawyer? Just a precaution," I said. "Professional courtesy, you understand?" I walked out of his office, and my hands were shaking a little, I'll admit. But not from fear. From something else. Something that felt like the moment before a mission briefing, when you know the operation's about to get interesting. I opened my laptop and pulled up the contract I'd signed in 2009. Section 9, Paragraph C. I read it 3 times, then pulled up my personal files. Every piece of documentation I had about LogiTrack development was right there in my cloud storage, organized by date, cross-referenced, indexed. 16 years of Navy-style record keeping. Then I called my lawyer. Her name was Patricia Coleman. We'd met at a veterans networking event in 2019. Stayed in touch, grabbed coffee maybe twice a year. She specialized in employment law and veterans' rights, had her own practice downtown. I left her a voicemail at 9:07 a.m. "Pat, it's Bobby Mitchell. I need to talk to you ASAP. I think I'm being fired and there's a contract issue you need to see." She called me back at 9:34 a.m. I was still sitting at my desk, watching Alex get a tour of the office through the glass walls of the conference room. "Bobby, what's going on?" I told her everything. The meeting, the training request, the timeline. When I got to the part about the LogiTrack system in Section 9C, she went quiet for about 10 seconds. "Bobby, tell me you have documentation," she said finally. "Every Git commit since 2008, every AWS invoice, every email where I mentioned building it independently. It's all in a folder on my personal cloud drive. Timestamps, version histories, the works. Send it to me right now, and Bobby, don't sign anything. Don't agree to train anyone on that system. Not yet. They're expecting me to start tomorrow. Tell them you need a few days to organize your documentation. Stall. I need to review this contract thoroughly. Let me tell you what happened next." I spent the rest of that Thursday organizing files, pulling together every piece of evidence that proved I'd built the LogiTrack system independently. By the time I left the office at 6:15 p.m., I had a 312-page PDF compiled with contracts, emails, invoices, code repositories, even screenshots of Slack messages where I joked about working on my side project back in 2009. The documentation was thorough, military thorough. Every AWS bill from my personal account. Every weekend I'd logged into the system from my home IP address. Every email where I'd mentioned needing to work on the tracking system during my off hours. Screenshots of my GitHub repository showing commit timestamps at 11 p.m., 2 a.m., weekends. I sent it all to Pat at 6:42 p.m. with the subject line, "Complete Logitrack documentation package." She called me at 9:03 p.m. I was sitting on my couch, half watching a Rangers game, trying not to think about the conversation I'd need to have with Carol and Jessica. "Bobby, this is absolutely airtight," she said. "You own that system completely. They've been using your intellectual property without a licensing agreement for 16 years. This is potentially a significant issue for them. So what do I do? Tomorrow morning, you go in and you politely inform them that you're not able to provide training on the Logitrack system without first negotiating a licensing agreement for your intellectual property. Be calm, be professional, don't threaten anything, just state the facts. They're going to lose it, probably, maybe. But here's the thing, they need that system, right? How many clients depend on it? 67 active supply chains, $89 million in annual revenue managed through Logitrack. Every delivery schedule, every compliance requirement, every optimization algorithm, if they lose access to that data, they're in serious trouble. Bobby, I'm going to draft a licensing proposal tonight. We'll ask for a one-time payment for past use, plus either a consulting contract to maintain the system or a buyout. I'll have it to you by tomorrow afternoon. I barely slept that night. Kept thinking about my team, about the clients who trusted me, about whether I was doing the right thing. Part of me felt like I was betraying people I'd worked with for 16 years. But another part of me, the part that had learned hard lessons in the Navy, knew that sometimes you have to protect yourself because nobody else will. Friday morning, November 16th. I got to the office at 8:30 a.m. Alex was already there, sitting at a temporary desk near mine, laptop open, notepad ready, looking eager and professional. "Morning, Bobby. Ready to dive in?" "Alex, I need to talk to Scott first. Give me about 20 minutes. I walked to Scott's office. He was on a call, but he waved me in and wrapped it up quickly. "Bobby, good. Let's get Alex started on the Logitrack orientation. I'm thinking we begin with the basic architecture, then move into Scott. I need to clarify something about the Logitrack system before we move forward with any training." He frowned. "Clarify what? The system is my intellectual property. According to Section 9, Paragraph C of my employment contract, the one I signed in 2009, any proprietary systems I developed using personal resources remain my property unless the company purchases a license. You've been using the system for 16 years without a licensing agreement." Scott stared at me for about 5 seconds. "Bobby, you built that for the company. It's a company asset. I built it on my own time, using my own AWS account with my own credit card. I have documentation going back to 2008. Every invoice, every code commit, every email exchange. I'm happy to provide training and continued access, but we need to formalize a licensing agreement first." His face went from pale to red. Not angry red exactly, more like panic red. "Are you serious right now?" "Completely serious. My lawyer's drafting a proposal. We should have it by end of day. Your lawyer." Scott stood up and started pacing behind his desk. "Bobby, this isn't personal. It's just business. I understand that. You're restructuring for cost-cutting reasons. I get it. But if you want access to my system, we need to do this properly." He stopped pacing. "I need to call our counsel. Don't talk to Alex yet. Don't touch anything on that database." "I won't," I said. "But Scott, the database is running on my personal AWS account. I'm not going to shut it down or anything dramatic like that. I'm just saying we need an agreement before I transfer knowledge or access." I left his office and went back to my desk. Alex looked confused when he saw me. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Yeah, just some administrative stuff to sort out. Why don't you spend today reviewing our client files, the public-facing stuff? I'll get you access to the internal systems once we clear up some paperwork." Now, this is where things started moving fast. At 11:47 a.m., my phone buzzed. Email from Scott. Subject line, "Meeting 2 million p.m. today." The email was short. "Bobby, please attend a meeting at 2 p.m. with myself, our outside counsel Linda Foster, and CFO Howard Stevens to discuss the Logitrack licensing matter. I forwarded it to Pat immediately. She called me 3 minutes later. "Don't go in there without me," she said. "I'm driving down from Dallas. I can be there by 1:30 p.m. You don't have to drive all the way down here for Bobby. Tell them your legal counsel will be joining. This is important. Do not attend that meeting without me present." I replied to Scott's email at 11:55 a.m. I'll be there. My attorney Patricia Coleman will be attending as well. Looking forward to a productive conversation. His response came at 12:03 p.m. That's fine. The afternoon moved in slow motion. I tried to work, answered some client emails, reviewed a project timeline, but I couldn't focus. Alex kept glancing at me, clearly sensing something was wrong, but not knowing what to ask. Around 1 p.m., I saw Scott and Howard Stevens talking in low voices in Scott's office, both of them looking tense. At 1:38 p.m., Pat walked into the office. Navy suit, leather briefcase, the kind of presence that immediately commands respect. I met her at reception, and we went to a small huddle room to prep. "Here's the proposal," she said, sliding a bound document across the table. "We're asking for $2.8 million. That's $800,000 for past use. Essentially a retroactive licensing fee covering 16 years and $2 million to purchase the intellectual property outright, which includes full transfer of code, documentation, and architecture." That's a lot of money, Pat. Bobby, they're generating $89 million annually from clients managed through your system. If they lose that database, they lose those clients. $2.8 million is actually conservative, but we're being reasonable. At 2 p.m. exactly, we walked into conference room B. Scott was there, so was Howard Stevens, the CFO I'd met exactly twice since Morrison Capital Partners took over. Mid-50s gray suit, wire-rimmed glasses, the kind of guy who looked at every conversation like a balance sheet, and Linda Foster, their outside counsel. Sharp eyes, no nonsense, probably cost $500 an hour. We sat down, the energy in the room was tense. Linda spoke first. "Mr. Mitchell. Coleman, thank you for joining us. We've reviewed the employment contract in question, specifically Section 9, Paragraph C. We'd like to discuss a resolution." Pat slid the proposal across the table. "We're proposing a full buyout of the LogiTrack intellectual property for $2.8 million, which includes a detailed breakdown of past use compensation and current fair market value. All terms are outlined in this document." Howard picked up the proposal, and I watched his face carefully.
He didn't react much at first, but I could see his jaw tighten as he flipped through the pages. There were 12 pages total, itemized, detailed, professional.
He read for about 3 minutes, then set it down. "This is excessive," he said flatly. "It's fair market value," Pat replied calmly. "The system manages $89 in client operations. Loss of access would be catastrophic for operational continuity and client retention."
"We're open to negotiation," Pat continued, "but the baseline is non-negotiable. TechFlow has been using Mr. Mitchell's proprietary system without license for 16 years.
Linda leaned forward. "Let's say hypothetically we disagree with your interpretation of Section 9C. What happens then? Then we go to court," Pat said simply. "And in the meantime, Mr. Mitchell is under no obligation to provide access to his system, which means your operations would be severely compromised within days." "You'd hold the company hostage," Howard interrupted, his voice rising slightly. "No," I said, speaking for the first time since we'd sat down. My voice was steady. "I'd protect my intellectual property. There's a difference." Scott looked at me like he didn't recognize me. "Bobby, after everything we've done for you." "You are firing me, Scott," I said. "You asked me to train my replacement. I'm not being vindictive. I'm being professional. If you want to buy the system, let's negotiate. If you don't, then I guess we'll figure out what happens next." The room went quiet for maybe 15 seconds, but it felt like 5 minutes. Linda looked at Howard. Howard looked at Scott. I could see them doing mental calculations, trying to figure out their exposure, their options. Then Linda said, "We need to discuss this internally. Can you give us until Monday?" "Of course," Pat said. "We'll await your response." We stood up to leave. As we walked out, I heard Howard mutter something to Scott about "should have seen this coming," but I couldn't make out all the words. The tone, though, was not good. Pat and I grabbed coffee at a place 2 blocks from the office. She was actually smiling. "That went well," she said. "Did it?" They looked furious. "They're panicking, Bobby. That's different. They know you're right. They're just trying to figure out how to minimize damage." "What do you think they'll offer?" "Less than $208 million. Maybe $1.5 to $2 million. But here's the thing. They'll offer. They have to. Without that system, their operations collapse within a week. That weekend was brutal. I told Carol everything over dinner Friday night. She was quiet for a long time, then reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "You did the right thing," she said. "Your dad would be proud." Jessica called Saturday morning from campus. Carol had filled her in. "Dad, are you really going to get that much money? Maybe, sweetheart, we'll see. Either way, I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself." By Sunday night, I was convinced I'd made a huge mistake, that I'd burned my entire career over a technicality. That come Monday, they'd call my bluff, and I'd be out of a job with no system to sell. Monday morning, November 19th, 8:47 a.m., email from Linda Foster, subject line, "Revised proposal." I opened it with shaking hands. The email was formal, professional. TechFlow Solutions was prepared to offer a one-time payment of $1.6 million for the full transfer of LogiTrack intellectual property, including all code, documentation, and architecture. In exchange, I would agree to provide 2 weeks of transition training, and both parties would sign a mutual non-disclosure agreement. I forwarded it to Pat immediately. She called me at 9:02 a.m. counter at $284.4 million. "Tell them we'll accept $2.1 million as final offer. But it needs to include a 6-month consulting contract at $15,000 per month to ensure proper knowledge transfer. Total package, $2.19 million. I typed out the response with Pat on speakerphone, reviewing every word, sent it at 9:14 a.m. Linda replied at 10:38 a.m. "We need to discuss internally. We'll respond by end of day." The day dragged. I tried to focus on work, but every email notification made my heart race. Alex kept asking if I was okay. Around 3 p.m., I saw Scott, Howard, and Linda having what looked like a heated discussion in the conference room. At 4:47 p.m., my phone rang. "Scott, Bobby, can you come back to the office? We'd like to finalize this today." I met Pat at the Starbucks across the street first. We walked in together at 5:10 p.m. Howard, Scott, and Linda were waiting in conference room B. The energy was different. Resigned, maybe tired. Linda spoke first. "We're prepared to offer $1.95 million for the full intellectual property transfer, plus a 3-month consulting contract at $15,000 per month. Total $1.995 million. That's our final offer." I looked at Pat. She looked at me. I could see her doing the calculation. It was less than we'd asked for, but it was life-changing money. "We'll accept $205 million for the IP transfer and 4 months consulting at $15,000 per month," Pat said. "Total $211 million. That's our bottom line." Howard looked at Linda. Linda looked at Scott. There was this long pause, maybe 20 seconds, but it felt like forever. Then Howard said, "Fine, $211 million. We'll have the paperwork drafted by Wednesday." Hearing that number out loud, knowing it was real, I felt lightheaded. Like I might actually pass out. "One more thing," Pat added. "The severance package originally offered minus 4 months at Mr. Mitchell's current salary. That remains in place separate from this agreement." Correct. Scott nodded slowly. "So the actual total was $211 million plus 4-month severance, which at my salary came out to about $47,300. Grand total, $2.157 million. The paperwork took 4 days to finalize. I signed it on Friday, November 23rd, 2024, at 2:15 p.m. in Linda's law office downtown. There was a notary public there, a woman named Nancy Wright, who smiled at me when I walked in like she could tell this was a big moment. The contract was 31 pages. I read every single word before signing. Pat sat next to me the entire time. The first payment, the full $2.11 million for the IP transfer, hit my account on Monday, November 26th at 11:04 a.m. I was sitting in my truck in the TechFlow parking lot when my phone buzzed with the notification from my bank. I opened the app and just stared at it. $2,110,000. I refreshed the page 3 times to make sure it was real. It was real. I spent the next 4 months as a consultant, just like the contract stipulated. I trained Alex, who turned out to be a genuinely nice guy, completely unaware of the drama behind his hiring. I documented every process, every algorithm, every quirk of the LogiTrack system. I made video tutorials. I wrote a 27-page operations manual. I answered every question, responded to every email within 2 hours. But here's what I didn't tell them. During those 4 months, I'd already been approached by 5 of TechFlow's biggest clients. They'd reached out to me directly, not through the company, asking if I was available for independent consulting. My personal relationships with those clients were exactly that, personal. By the time my consulting contract ended on March 26, 2025, I had signed contracts with 7 former TechFlow clients, not to manage their full logistics operations. I wasn't trying to compete directly, but to provide strategic advisory services, independent contractor agreements. My rate, $275 per hour. In April 2025, I officially launched Mitchell Logistics Consulting. Just me at first, small office in downtown Austin. Within 6 months, I brought on 3 former colleagues from TechFlow, people I'd trained, people who trusted me, and we were managing 14 clients. Annual revenue year 1, $3.8 million. As for TechFlow, Alex did his best. He really did. But the Logitrack system was more complex than they'd anticipated. Without me there to troubleshoot issues, customize features, or manage client relationships, things started slipping. 4 clients left within 10 months. 2 more threatened to leave unless they got better service. Howard Stevens, the CFO who'd been so confident during negotiations, resigned in August 2025. The official reason was pursuing other opportunities. The real reason, according to someone who still worked there, was that the board blamed him for the client losses and the $2.11 million payout to me. Scott himself stepped down as CEO in October 2025. He sent me an email when it happened, short, professional. "Bobby, I wanted you to hear this from me. I'm leaving TechFlow. I should have handled things differently with you. Hope you're doing well." I wrote back, "Scott, I appreciate you reaching out. I wish you the best in whatever comes next," and I meant it. I wasn't angry anymore. Honestly, I'd stopped being angry around the time that first payment hit my account. Last I heard, TechFlow was acquired in January 2026 by Pinnacle Corporate Group at a valuation about 35% lower than what they'd been worth 18 months earlier. A lot of people lost their jobs in that acquisition. Alex moved to a different division. Today, as I'm telling you this story, Mitchell Logistics Consulting has 22 employees. We're managing 31 clients across tech, manufacturing, and defense contractors. Annual revenue last year, $11.22 million. I still use a version of Logitrack, heavily upgraded and properly funded now. I've trained 8 people since leaving TechFlow, and I tell every single one of them the same thing my dad told me. Document everything. Protect your work. Paper trails beat handshake deals every single time. The bottom line is this: they thought they could push out a 47-year-old veteran and replace him with a fresh MBA. What they didn't count on was that this old sailor had learned a thing or two about preparation and strategy. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting mad, it's getting paid. $2.11 million paid, to be exact. Document everything, protect your work, and never let anyone convince you that loyalty is a one-way street. Companies will replace you without hesitation, but they can't replace what you've built if you've been smart enough to protect it. The real power isn't in being indispensable. It's in owning what makes you indispensable. At 47, getting fired felt like the end of my career, but it turned out to be the beginning of my real success. Sometimes what looks like your biggest setback is actually life pushing you toward what you were meant to build all along.